What up guys, this is the next part of our ParkourPark series. This time it's all about getting into action and start making your parkour park in a 3D program. So enjoy! Last episode I showed you how to start with the concept by reflecting the spots in your city and write down what you miss in your city. So what we need today is first our list from last time, and we need a program. So let's get right into it. You start with open your browser, type in SketchUp 2017 download, so you will find a direct link to the download site of Google SketchUp. Google SketchUp, the Make version, is the free version, so you can just download it. As you can see, we have all different kinds of languages: Spain, France, German, English, Chinese, and loads of other languages. So you just choose your operating system and download the program. Install it, easy as it is. After we installed, we can get right into it. So when we start Google SketchUp, we will get this window first. It's a hello screen, and down there we can choose the template we want to work with. I like to work in centimeters because I'm German and we work with centimeters, meters, yes. There are different types of templates. I like this one, just used to it. So choose a language and then start SketchUp. Let's get started with the tools we have. So we have the selection tool, the black arrow. So with this tool we can select everything that is there, can make a square, everything in the square will be selected. This is the eraser tool, which is used to erase, for example, lines or obstacles. So this is the line tool. It's a really important tool for designing stuff. You can just drag around and do some lines, connect the lines, and then you have surface. And there are definitely other ways to use this. We have arches. We don't need arches this time. It's fun to work around with arches, a little bit more difficult. One of the most important tools we need are rectangles and circles. You can select rectangles or click the black arrow down and then you can select circles. The next tool we will need a lot is push and pull. With this tool we can lift surfaces up and down and make them three-dimensional. And then we have the rotation tools for the camera settings, so you can rotate, and we have the hand tool to drag it all around in various ways. And that's basically it, what we need for the first design. So our goal today is to rebuild one of our existing parks. I choose this design because it's already reality, and on the other hand, when I look on my list, so getting back to the list, I feel like a lot of what is on the list is in this park. Like, for example, we have a lot of cat leaps in there, different varieties of cat leaps, a lot of distances. We have a lot of swings in this design, and also low bars with walls, and you definitely have the ability to move over the whole park easily, really fluid. So that's the reason I picked this design. Let's get right into designing this park. Because we know how the park should look like, we can simply start by first building some specific parts of the park, and later on we can place the parts where they should be. that's the first thing we're gonna do. We start selecting this podest right here. So first up, we select our rectangle tool, draw a rectangle, and maybe so we want our podest with a ground surface of 3 meters and 2 meters. What we're gonna do now is place the circle properly, so we select our line tool and mark the place where we want to have the bar. If we click on the corner here, we can mark the position on the line. So we type in 10 because we want to go in 10 centimeters. And when you look for the point, you see you get a green dot. So we can click this green dot, and what we see now is that our line is changing colors. This is because SketchUp shows us in which direction we're going to work. So if the line is red, we're gonna work on the red axis. If it's a green line, we work on the green axis. And when it turns into blue, we know it's like up and down, so blue axis. And this is what we want right now, so we type in 10 and return. And now we have the perfect spot to place our bar. We select circle, click on the green point, on the end point of the line, click it. Now we can type in the radius. We want 2.1 because this is the main radius we work with when we build our parks. And yeah, type in 2.1, enter, and you have a circle. So because this is not just one bar we want, it's more bars we want, we can work around to make it much more easier to place bars. So we use our line tool, click on the corner down there, go in 10 and 10, same distance. So I show you a workaround which is much easier to work in the right direction. So you start drawing the line, click your arrow up, and then you can just point in the center of the existing circle and then drag a line into the center. So we see it's red, so it's perfectly aligned to the red axis. And now we have an easy way to place our bars. So we select our circle tool again. First we can delete the lines, so we have clean bars. We can push pull and now try to focus on the line so it's perfectly, and we want an L-shaped bar setup like on the photo, so we click on the edge of our bar setup and track the line along the green axis, so we make sure that the line is green, and we want this bar to be 180. So we can push pull this bar up, fix it there, and grab the line tool again, click the endpoint, click the up arrow, and point somewhere on the surface we want it to be. So you can see if we point somewhere, it will be perfectly aligned to where we click. So now this is what we want. And now you can hit the left arrow, so if the circle is green, it's perfectly aligned again to the green axis. Type in the radius, push, pull everything, and we are done with the bar setup perfectly. So this is our first element. What we do is we mark everything. If you do not select everything and you use your move tool, for example, just the marked areas and lines will be moved and the rest will stick to where it is, and you can get some really interesting stuff, but in this case we don't want this, so make sure to select everything. When everything is selected, you do a right click, go on create component, and now you can name your component. A component makes it much more easier to move it and to place it again, and I will show you what you can do with the components afterwards. Make sure you have the checkbox down there selected, and then you can go on create the component. Now you can see, if you choose your move tool again and choose some corner on the component and you move it, everything will move as it is supposed to move. So this is one of the main reasons to create components. The other reason you will see later on. Down there on the right side you have a component window, and now you see when you created a component it is listed in this window, and still, even if you removed it, it is existing there, and you can just click on it and drag it into your design, and you will have the component, and you can do this as often as you want, and you can replicate your component as often as you would like. If you want to re-edit your component, you just select your selection tool, double click on it, and then you can work on it again, and double click somewhere else, it's deselected, and you can go on. So The next thing I'm going to show you is how to create a slanted wall. So as we can see in our design, we have this really interesting looking slanted wall, and this is what we gonna do now. We're gonna start by drawing a rectangle, make it the size of 300 by 20. Select push pull, drag it up, type in 200, and now we're gonna move on. We select the move tool, click on the line we want to move, lock the way we want it to with the left arrow, because now you can see if you move around you will glitch around. You don't want this. So left arrow, and we are aligned to the green line. Type in 50, and now we have a slanted wall. What we had also was this corner here. So now I'm gonna show you how to create something like this. We could select this endpoint and just move it along the red line, but what would you see now is that what we get is not what we wanted. So we're gonna start with the line tool, and we draw a line parallel to the red axis, type in 50, enter, drag it to the endpoint right there, and now we see we want this corner right there as well. So we mark this endpoint again, make sure we have the blue line, drag it all the way down, and make the next line parallel to the red line and log it into the other line. This is the basic shape we want. So we can click this one, arrow up, until we are on the same height as the wall, and connect it so we have this rectangle there. We can undo these two lines, click in this corner, connect it with this corner, and now from this corner down in this corner, and as you can see we have this shape. Remove the lines and we are done. Mark everything, right click, component, name it somehow, create, and remove, and go on to the next component we gonna create. What we are missing right now are bars, so I'm gonna show you an easy way to create, for example, the ladder right there in the corner, and basically I show you the way how to create a bar setup in a really easy way. We start again by selecting our line tool, click on 0, 0, go in 3 meters on the red axis, click the up arrow so we go all the way up, type in 190 and make this whole thing a rectangle. Can select the surface, delete it, and this is the shape we want for our bar setup. So again, line tool, now we want to mark a 1 meter point on this line, so we go all the way, type in 1 meter, select the green dots, go all the way down, delete the surface, and again selecting our, we grab the line tool and mark 30 centimeters steps downwards. So type in 30, grab this point, make a line this way, and again. And repeat these steps until you're on bottom of your bar setup. What you can see is you can replicate the distances. SketchUp reminds the sizes, the measurements, and you can just simply replicate it. Delete the surfaces, not the lines. You can delete this line as well, and this line, and also this part, because we don't need it. It will end in a concrete obstacle. So next thing we're gonna do is we select our circle tool. Rotate the screen like this, and now we zoom in. Look for the endpoint and create a 2.1 circle and make sure it's parallel to the red axis. And we can do it again here, and we're gonna do this for all the lines we have drawn till now. What we do now, we grab our push and pull tool, pull it till the end point on the line, and what you can see now, if we have lines in the circle that are closed, Google SketchUp will separate the surface. So we don't want this because it makes it harder to work with. So we grab our eraser tool and erase all the lines inside of the circle. Push pull, drag it till the end point. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get this endpoint. Miss the lines here. So now we have all the horizontal bars. Now we can start with these bars. Same procedure. Make a rectangle. Make a circle. 2.1. Push pull. Super easy, super fast. Going up all the way until you end up here. Same here. And we are done with our ladder bar setup. Mark everything, delete this one line here because we don't need it. There's also a concrete obstacle, right click, create a component, same procedure as before. And that's it with this one. This time I showed you how to create your obstacles and how to transform them into components so it's easier to work with them. Next time I will show you how to place those components in a proper way. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will enjoy playing around with Google SketchUp, and if you like it, what you saw, please subscribe, watch our videos, and see you next time.